filming from a different angle today. I'm going to talk about SummerSlam 1995, a pay-per-view event I've never actually seen in full. I've seen a few matches off of it before, but tonight was the first time I've seen it in full. I borrowed this tagged classics off my mate Tristram. I've already seen SummerSlam 94 a few times, but SummerSlam 95 is one that I missed out on. And I'd heard a lot of varying reports about this event, like saying how the ladder match between Shawn and Razor's the only thing of note on it, and also saying that it's like a really bad SummerSlam and the main event was diabolical or whatever. But I'm just going to give some quick thoughts on it. Overall, I thought it was quite an enjoyable show to watch, really. I don't know why. I mean, it didn't really contain a lot of star power or any kind of brilliant feuds leading into it, for a lot of the matches, but some of them, most of the undercard, I'd say, was fairly enjoyable to watch. Nothing that riveting or mind-blowing you want to go back to, but it was still pretty enjoyable. It started off with a nice opener between 1-2-3 Kid and Hakushi. I was a real big fan of Hakushi. I thought his look was really unique, and I loved the fact that he did a lot of high flying and kind of martial arty stuff. And this opening match with the 1-2-3 Kid was real nice and fast paced. But there was a few spots where they were a bit off, and that slightly took away, but didn't really, if you know what I mean. For instance, 1-2-3 Kid went for a tilt-a-whirl kind of backbreaker on a knee on Hakushi, but just kind of, it looked like, or no, Hakushi did that to Kid, sorry, but it looked like 1-2-3 Kid kind of sandbagged it a bit, and he didn't land on his knee, just knelt to the canvas, but it was a bit strange. But yeah, a pretty good thing to start things off. Hakushi gets the win. I would have liked it to have been a bit longer. It probably would have got a better rating in my estimation if it went a bit longer, but it was a good opener. And then next was Bob Holly, Sparky Plug, you know, Mr. Hardcore Furman Plug Holly, against Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who we now know as Triple H. And I think this match was quite good for nostalgic purposes. Just seeing the kind of different moves they did later in their career, and how they used to wrestle when they were younger. It wasn't a great match, but I say it served its purpose. It wasn't too long. It slowed up. It was slow to begin with and picked up towards the end as they were doing more reversals. And at the end, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and I think this may have been his pay-per-view debut, I'm not too sure about that, got the win with the pedigree. Next, it was the Smoking Guns versus Jacob and Eli Blue. And if you don't know who Jacob and Eli Blue are, they're basically the Harris twins with kind of curly, mullety hair and big beards and weird kind of waistcoat. Had a bit of a Viking look, not really Berserker, but I don't know, just kind of if Bruiser Brody was in the 1800s around some medieval urchins, that kind of look. And they actually got quite a bit of cheers, which is funny. It's a bit of a nothing match, really. In my opinion, it was 5 minutes, and I think it was 2 minutes too long. If they just got to the end sequence and had it at that, I would have enjoyed it. But yeah. And then there's Barry Horowitz versus Skip. And Barry Horowitz, there's a bit of storyline going into this. Barry Horowitz was a jobber for most of his career. Never won a match. Then he got the win over Skip, who was Chris Candido. And Chris Candido's furious about it. Started a feud where he wanted to avenge his loss, get another win and that. But and also before this, Skip screwed up a match between Hakushi and Barry Horowitz, and Horowitz won that match as well. So Horowitz was on a roll, and I have to say his entrance music is probably the worst entrance music I've heard for a wrestler. I mean, it sounds like it's straight out of a bar mitzvah or something. I guess that was where they were going, because Horowitz is a bit of a Jewish name, I guess, in a stereotype kind of sense. I thought this was a really good match. Showed a lot of story of Barry Horowitz being the underdog, but like having a lot of fight in him. It ended with Hakushi coming down and actually distracting Chris Candido for Horowitz to get the roll up. So I think that was Hakushi's face turn, and I can't remember how much longer he stayed in the company, but I wish he stayed. And then there's the Women's Championship match with Alundra Blaze, otherwise known as Medusa, versus Bertha Fay, who's Rhonda Singh, who's quite a well-known women's wrestler in Japan and around the globe, and she was doing this like really silly gimmick called Bertha Fay, and it was alright, I guess, as far as women's matches go for a WWF. I mean, this was still like probably as good as a good Divas match now. I liked Alundra Blaze's matches against Bull Nakano, they were great, and she was a good wrestler, I thought, definitely. But Bertha Fay won the Women's Champ with a bomb. And then there was a casket match with Undertaker and Karma, a bit of storyline with this. Karma stole the urn and melted it down and that and blah blah blah. Yeah, a bit of a boring 90s Undertaker feud and quite a boring casket match, if I must say so myself. Not a lot of note there. The crowd were kind of into it, but yeah. And then there was Bret Hit My Heart versus Isaac Yankem, DDS, who's now known as Kane, of course. Yeah, a bit of storyline going into this match as well. Jerry Lawler brought in Isaac Yankem, this crazy dentist, to deal with the Hitman. And, yeah, Bret got a good match out of quite a green Isaac Yankem. And Isaac Yankem, well, Kane, Glenn Jacobs, put in a lot of effort to this. He did some kind of agile moves as well. Went for a kind of leg drop while Bret was hanging there. And he kind of missed, but good on him for trying, I guess. And it's quite funny seeing him a lot leaner and wrestle quicker as well, like it was with Bob Holly and Triple H earlier on. But yeah, but not a bad match, really. Had a shitty ending, shitty DQ ending with Lawler getting involved, but yeah. And then there's the match this event's known for, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, their ladder match, and it was pretty damn great, I thought. Definitely a good ladder match. Shawn took some bumps that looked like they really killed. Like, a few times he'd stumble off the ladder, and there was a second ladder there, and like a part of him would land on the ladder. And also he took a suplex to the outside, and his leg just went down on the guardrail. And Shawn really did take the bumps in this, and Razor played a good kind of tweener heel, but obviously still a babyface, because this is babyface versus babyface. Shawn actually got a few boos as well, which was quite funny. And this match, I'd say, is probably as good as their WrestleMania 10 one, but maybe not quite for me personally. I prefer the other one. I think there was the ending of the match kind of took away, like, you know, Razor got back body dropped to the floor, and Shawn went up a ladder that was already set up, but you could tell that he wasn't going to reach it, and he took this stumble and then just got pissed off and got back up and rearranged the ladder and got it again. And when he took a fall like that earlier in the match, he was laying down for like a good minute, so it was just looked a bit stupid to me. And then there was a match that was the main event, the WWF Championship, Diesel versus Mabel. And yeah, if you're going to rate a pay-per-view on its main event, then this pay-per-view is fucking shit. But I wouldn't rate this pay-per-view as fucking shit. I mean, the main event wasn't great by any means, and there's a point where like Mabel threw Diesel, Kevin Nash, into the ring post, and it looked like it fucking killed, and then Diesel just booted like Mabel. It just looked like a receipt. It looked because a load of stuff came flying out of him, and he was just stuttery ever since. But Yeah, terrible main event. Not good at all. Lex Luger runs out as well, which must have been his last appearance with the company before WCW. But yeah, just not good at all. Not good main event. But overall, not a bad show, but not a memorable SummerSlam by any means, apart from the ladder match. And if you did have to check out anything from the show, I'd recommend that ladder match and Bret Hart, Isaac Yankem, and the 1-2-3 Kid Hakushi matches for sure. Definitely worth a look. And Skip and Barry Horowitz. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. If you've seen SummerSlam 95 or remember it, well, let me know what you thought of it, whether it was good or bad. Cheers.